Hello, I'm back again with another content that I made, okay, for textbook or for a lesson, which something to do with the business lesson. Okay, so and I hope this one will be useful, especially when you receive a student which are or students interested in learning more on how to conduct a meeting in an organized way. Okay, so before we dive into this tutorial, okay, so if you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to subscribe so you will get a notification every time I make some useful tips or right. And let's dive into this tutorial now. Okay, so if your student have chosen this speak up in business, okay, in particular, so volume 1, so it's the first project or first meeting of project members. Okay, so when you see or when you get this kind of a lesson, okay, so I'm going to show you how it goes or how this textbook flows. Okay, you have to introduce yourself first and check if the student can hear and see you well, and then confirmation if he has chosen or she has chosen the right lesson. Okay, so to start with, okay, so of course in the red mark, so you have to follow the lesson flow. Okay, so it goes something like this. So I would like to confirm if you have chosen the textbook first meeting of project members or project members meet first meeting. Is that correct? And if he said or she said yes, then you have to tell your student to look at the episode and or check the episode. Okay, then after checking, you will read it in English. Okay, you can say Cosmo Manufacturing, a Japanese heavy machineries manufacturer, has initiated a plan to launch a new Asian headquarters in order to establish a manufacturing and sales base overseas. Discuss the location of the headquarters. Overseas staff have gathered from Indonesia, Bangkok, Singapore, and China. Okay. So the next activity is let your student know the characters of this episode or the participants of this meeting. Okay, so then let them know when they finish checking. Okay, so you have to give them time to get to know these participants. And after reading it and the student say so, then you have to read or tell them the situation. First one is the meeting invitation email reading. Then let them check the background of the story. And after checking, then it's time for you to read it in English. Like project member or project team members currently working in different branches and subsidiaries around the world were invited. Project leader Yuga sent an email notifying each member who has been selected through branch office recommendations, nominations from headquarters, etc. The details about the meeting. So before proceeding with the role play, so you have to tell your student to look at the words and phrases and let them repeat the words or the vocabulary words twice. Okay? And after reading the words and phrases, ask them if they have question. If none, then you can continue with the reading part. Okay, so And it goes like, let's continue. Please look at 1-2 reading. So this is a confirmation of the document reading. Okay. And you can say you have 2 minutes to read aloud, or you have 2 minutes to silently read this letter. Okay. Then, of course, you have to bring out your stopwatch and have them ready. Okay, so after reading this, you can ask or you can confirm if they're finished. Then, if finished, then you can say continue, and we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to ask you 5 questions which is related to what you read. It's like comprehension questions. So you can say, you can ask them question from question 1, like who sent the message, then question 2, question 3, 4, until you reach number 5 and number 5 questions. Okay, so but if they have question, then of course you can entertain and answer their question in a straightforward manner. Then if no question, then you can proceed to the role play. Okay, so of course you have to read the situation, like gather the meeting room, role play. And you can tell your student to check the background of the story. Then after checking it, then it's time for you to read it in English. Okay, so it goes like this. The staff for the Asian office is gathered. They got to know each other casually before the meeting started. So before we go to the role play, look at the words and phrases 2-1. Repeat after me twice. So after reading the words and phrases, ask them if they have question. If none, then you can continue the role play 2-2. Okay, so in here you can say we'll do a role play, but before that, let's check the key phrases and let them repeat these key phrases twice. Like, let me introduce myself. Could I call you Mac? So if they have question, then they can ask. If none, then you can proceed with the dialogue. So you have to read these red marks here. First step, second step, and third step. Okay, so first step, you can say, I'll read the dialogue alone. And second step, I'll read the lines one by one. Repeat after me once. Third step, then we'll do role play. You play. Please read Mira's part and Sun's part, and I'll do the rest, or Jonathan's part. Okay? Then you can have here the role play. Okay, so with the first, second, and third step. After third step, this is an application, part 3. So practice exercises, exercise. So you can read instruction here. We will practice how to introduce ourselves for the first time and make a good impression. We have an example here. I'll read the teacher's part. Please read the student's part. Okay? So you can read the example like as a role play. Okay, so like, let me introduce myself. I'm Nguyen Min Son. Call me Son. I'm an engineer from Hanoi. Good to meet you. And let your student read this part. Then ask a question if there's any, then you can answer. If none, then you can begin with the case number 1, okay, which has a different names, location, and nickname. So your student is going to introduce themselves basing on the given details here. Okay, so you can say, are you ready? Let's start. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nguyen Min Son. Call me Son. I'm an engineer from Hanoi. Good to meet you. And then your student will use this part. Okay, then after finishing this, case 2. Okay, with again the same thing with the given details, but with the occupation. Okay, so you can say same thing. Let's start. Are you ready? So let me introduce myself. I'm Nguyen Min Son. Call me Son. I'm an engineer from Hanoi. Good to meet you. Then you have to comment. Good job. Okay, let's move on. Case number 3. In here, the students should think freely and supply and create the missing details here. Okay, the name, the location, and the work or occupation, and his nickname. Or he or she can use the real name. Okay, so they have 10 seconds to prepare it. So you must give time to your student. And you can say same thing. Are you ready? Let's start. Let's introduce myself. Okay. Then after finishing this, you can of course always comment him. Good job. All right, we finished anything in the textbook. Then it's time for your review. Okay, and review and giving them direct feedback. Okay, so everything that the students should improve on. Okay, so and that's it. So after this review, of course, encourage your student to improve more and practice as much as he or as much as she can in order to improve her vocabularies and expressions. Okay. Okay, so there you can say your ending spiel. So we've finished all activities. Do you have any question? So because the student sometimes has the last question, so you can entertain and answer them in any way you can, applying this topic. Okay, that's it. I hope it will be useful moving forward when you get student from Speak Up business. All right. Thank you so much and have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.